So today I thought we could start out with a little bit of scaling. So as a review, that's picking an emotion or a sensation to keep track of throughout the course of today. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being you're not experiencing that sensation at all, or emotion, and 10 being you're experiencing that sensation or emotion the most, just where are you at today? Sometimes it can feel useful to write this down. For other folks, you can just keep it in your head, whatever works, and then we'll check back in at the end of today. For today, I have some gentle movement-based exercises. So this isn't anything intense. This isn't yoga, nothing like that. Just simple, slow, mindful movement. So that can look like we're probably going to do a few neck rolls, probably a little finger wiggling, maybe some wrist rolls, gentle swing, things like that. And of course, as always, you are welcome to modify to whatever suits your needs. Whatever your body is feeling or not feeling today, that's totally okay. Before we begin, I'm going to go through a few rounds of a breathing exercise. You're welcome to join me or not. That's totally fine. The breathing that I'll be doing today is star breathing. So if y'all have encountered four-square breathing before, this is variations on the same theme. It includes both the breathing itself as well as a visual element if you want another sensation or piece of imagery to add to the exercise. So star breathing is you're going to pick a count to breathe on and then imagine that you're drawing a star with that breath. So similar to ratio breathing, you're going to be using the same count as you breathe. For example, if I'm using a count of 4, that would be breathing in, breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, and breathing in, 2, 3, 4. So again, I'm going to do a few repetitions of that. You're welcome to join in or not. Again, whatever feels good. I'm going to do one more round. All right. So let's continue. Before we start movement for today, you're invited to, again, check back in with your body. Just taking a moment to notice where you're at, any sensation, anything interesting that you're finding. Maybe do a quick body scan if that feels useful. Today we'll be working with sort of mindfulness of physical sensation, so it can be interesting to check in ahead of time as far as where you're at. For me, for scaling today, I did a sensation. Usually I do a motion. So sensation for me is I'm experiencing a lot of tightness in my shoulders and back of the neck. So I'm going to check back in with that part of my body when the exercise is over. So in your own time, as you're ready, you're invited to settle in. Ooh. Get any last minute wiggles out. Find a position that's going to be comfortable for you over the next 15 minutes or so. You're invited to close your eyes if that feels good, or soften your gaze. So keep your eyes open and find a soft focus if that feels good. You're also welcome to look around the room if that feels interesting. Totally up to you. All right. In your own time, as you're ready, you're welcome to start introducing a little bit of movement. Just checking out the space you're in, and how your body exists within it. It could maybe look like swaying. It could maybe look like rocking. That can maybe look like doing some circles. Whatever seems interesting and useful to you as you come into your body. And slow, mindful movements. Noticing any area of particular sensation. Exploring the space. If it feels interesting, maybe starting to tie those movements into breath. Not trying to do anything to change your natural rhythm, just attuning to it. For those of you who are interested in nervous system work, I read this in the book Polyvagal Theory. I cannot for the life of me remember the author, so I'll go ahead and put that in the description. But they were talking about moving from sympathetic activation into ventral vagal space, so moving from the part of the nervous system that controls flight or fight, back into the part of the nervous system that dictates social connection, that prefrontal cortex, our ability to think, plan, adult, all of that. So they were saying that when we take an in-breath, we come a little bit into a sympathetic activated state, and with our out-breath, we come into ventral vagal space and that feeling of connection. So a really interesting thing that they tied together when they were talking about using sort of movement in the therapeutic space is to imagine the I as we take our in-breath and we as we take the out-breath. So connecting that activation, that sense of independence and energy, and then on the out-breath, embracing that connection, that soothing, and that more relaxed space. So, might be fun to try out. In times where we may be feeling a little more isolated, it can be perhaps a tool and a body reminder of that inherent deep, deep nervous system connection that we have with one another. No matter how distant, it's still there. Deep, deep web of connection. And embracing our individual part of that web. We can be independent and connected at the same time. And in your own time, as you're ready, maybe starting to do a little head movement. Being very, very gentle, very, very slow. Whatever feels most interesting to you in this moment. Look like movement side to side, maybe some movement back and forth, making sure to attune to whatever's going to feel safe for your neck, not reaching or straining or trying to get to any destination, just allowing and noticing. For some folks, keeping eyes open during this can be super valuable. Something that helps increase sense of body safety for folks can be just checking out the space that we're in. If you have the opportunity to look outside, maybe look outside. If you have the opportunity to look at another living thing, maybe that's a plant or an animal companion, really anything organic that you see. Maybe, possibly, in your own time, as you're ready, Maybe extending those arms if that feels good. Reminding the body of the space that it occupies. Whatever your wingspan looks like right now. Maybe, possibly, looking at the tips of your fingers, wherever they are. That could be at the edges of your bubble. Maybe they're resting in your lap. Wherever they are is okay. In your own time, if it feels interesting, maybe taking a look at those hands. Maybe some movement might feel accessible or nice. You can do the same thing with hands that we did with our arms, just exploring our edges, our boundaries, the space that we occupy. If you find your mind wandering, getting stuck on a particular thought, as our minds are pretty good at doing, maybe tuning back into the breath or back into that sensation of movement. For example, our hands are made of a bajillion little bones, and muscles, and tendons, joints. Little details that are easy to overlook throughout our day. So maybe possibly taking some time to notice all of those intricate sensations, all those tiny moving pieces that make up that greater whole. Taking notice of all the different parts and the role that they play in the larger system. Just like the roles that we play in the larger system. Maybe you're noticing a particular area of intense sensation. Maybe possibly moving away from any type of judgment or labeling. So moving away from something that feels bad or something that feels good. I know I use a lot of positive judgmental language, which is also sometimes not as useful. So maybe noticing pain as intensity, or exploring what it feels like to think of pressure instead. And noticing as you hold space for those intense sensations, also noticing areas where there's less intense sensation. making space for holding both. Holding space for the things that we can control and the things we can't. Both things can be true at the same time. Both things can occupy space at the same time without one overwhelming the other, without one trying to change the other. No goal or outcome, just accepting, allowing, and existing wherever you are right now. Taking some time to explore any other type of movement that might feel useful or interesting to explore in this moment. It might look like exploring what it feels like to move your ankles, wiggle your toes, I don't know if y'all can hear it, but there are a few animal companions existing in my space and time who are exploring the sensation of using their voices. And as we wrap up the exercise for today, maybe finding another moment of stillness, maybe tuning back into the breath. Tuning into any sensations the body might be experiencing in a state of stillness compared to a state of movement. Maybe possibly coming back to the idea of the I and the we, shifting spaces back and forth along with the rhythm of our breath, finding personal power and deep, deep connection, moment to moment, in and out, wherever your rhythm is for today. Maybe, possibly, in your own time, coming back to the room, whatever that means for you. Maybe opening your eyes if they've been closed. Whatever you need to come back into tuned awareness of this space. Whatever you need to make another transition back into the rest of your day. Maybe taking a moment to scale again. So looking back at that number that we looked at the beginning of this exercise and seeing how that number may have changed or not. That's okay too. All right, wrapping up for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I want to take a moment to offer some gratitude for the music today. I realize I have not been crediting the artists who have been providing our background music, so I'm going to go ahead and add that to previous videos. But today, sending some gratitude to the YouTube station Relaxation Ambient Music. The track we've been listening to today is Ambient Music Space Traveling, Background for Dreaming. How cool is that? Ugh, I love space music. In any case, I hope that you are doing well, or at least having a tolerable time. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining.